Welcome to another unboxing video, this time Rising Sun from MMP Games. You'll notice right off the bat that the shrink is off. It slipped off while I was, it was kind of damaged in transit. There's a couple of little dings on my box, but nothing that should hurt the contents or make me unhappy. I'm very excited to get into this unboxing. I've been waiting for this for a while. I was a dedicated ASLer back in the right back since '85 and until about 2000, and I had everything. And then I decided I wanted to play some other games. I got rid of all my ASL stuff, and then what do you know? Like 19, 20 years later, I decide I want to get back into ASL. So here we go. Last time when I got the PTO stuff, of course it was Code of Bushido and Gung Ho, but this time it's all in one box, the Rising Sun box. And I notice on the corner of the plastic wrap, it says Rising Sun now includes the map and scenarios for Hell's Corner, which was originally published in Operation Special Edition number 3. I'm very glad to get that because I'm not a Special Operations subscriber or buyer, so I would have missed that one totally. Anyway, so let's get right at it. Let's see what's in this box. It's it's heavy, as you might expect, since it basically contains more than both Code of Bushido and Gung Ho and the Special Ops magazine historical game, as well as I believe it includes the Gavutu Tanambogo campaign game that was originally in one of the early ASL annuals, which predated the journals that we have now. So yeah, it's heavy. It's it's the MMP thick box. The box is pretty much like your general MMP boxes, or even old Avalon Hill boxes. It's got the same layout on the back with a view of some of the maps and then a detail of a few of the scenarios, and then it lets you know what's in the box. So let's find out. Okay, well, right off the bat, as always with MMP Games, there's a card to let you know what's supposed to be in here and who to phone if you come up short. So we'll hang on to that just in case. But I've never come up short in an MMP game. So let's see what we have. The first thing looks like it's a complete rewrite of the Pacific Theater Rules, Chapter G. It's all the errata and questions have been incorporated into this new version of the rules, and this is the original. This is the second publishing of Rising Sun, I think. So these rules are all, the copyright date is 2013 on most of these, it looks like. So that looks like when the last rewrite of the Pacific Theater Rules were done. What else have we got here? We've got some counter sheet with some landing craft and some caves and some banks and some Ponjis, classic PTO stuff. Oh, here we go. Next up, the rules to Sand and Blood. That's the Gavutu Tanambogo campaign game that's included. It's just like really just 4 pages of campaign rules, and it looks like basically a scenario card and a initial setup locations for caves and pillboxes, things like that the Japanese gets to set up for their defense. Our first map, here we go. We're going to have I think about 7 maps in here. This is basically a gully map with a little like a hill over on this corner, and I think this is like a lower level. Yeah, so basically a stream with a couple ponds through a gully. That looks nice. Our next counter sheet is U.S. Marines, U.S. leaders, couple couple of landing craft. We've got some planes. Oh, we got even a few Japanese tanks here, a few Japanese planes as well. Next up, oh, the Gavutu Tanambogo map. Now this is interesting because I remember the original one that came in I think it was one of the annuals. I don't think it was a general magazine, but basically, as I recall it, both of these islands were maybe like overlays, and you basically had to assemble it on, you know, if you had we also had in those old games the water overlays, and I think you had to kind of assemble the map by putting these new island overlays on top of the water overlays and something like that. Anyway, I remember it was more than one piece, so it's nice to have the whole map in one piece. Here's the next map. Oh, now this is a level 4 hill covered in jungle. This is your basic dense jungle, dense jungle, steep terrain. Yeah, look at that. Well, that'll be fun. Next, we have some more counters. This is the bulk of the U.S. Marines, as well as, yeah, you can see over here. This is second line regular Army troops. There's a lot, as well as the Marines in this. You get the Marines and early war U.S. Army for the American. That's the thing about ASL. There's probably more American troop types than anybody else, but I guess that's what you get when the game's designed by Americans, and you know, I'd rather have more than less. Moving on, we have wow, what a whack of scenarios here. So as I understand it, we have the scenarios from Koto Bushido, the scenarios from Gung Ho, as well as, I don't know, 12 or 16 scenarios that appeared in the general magazine or the early annuals, and they've been redone and rebalanced when needed. And then also there's the 5 scenarios that come for the Special Operations magazine game, and a couple scenarios for Gavutu Tanambogo. So this is a lot of scenarios. A lot of these look very familiar from those old games for sure. But yeah, this is, I don't know, what is this, 40 scenarios or something? That is a whack of scenarios. Up next, we have Chapter Divider, which includes updated national capabilities chart, and that now includes all of the Chinese, the Japanese, the USMC, and the early Philippine Army. So yeah, little updated national capabilities chart, and also the PTO terrain chart, which is you know, daunting for sure. The thing about PTO that I know scares people off from diving into it and trying to learn it is, a lot of it is all those new terrain types are, you know, you feel like you have a handle on the game, and then all of a sudden you're looking at pongees and rice paddies and, yeah, cave complexes. Sure, I get it. It's a little bit scary. Here we go. Japanese vehicles and ordnance. Yeah, I don't recall playing with a ton of Japanese AFVs, but they're there for those scenarios that have them, or for the DYOers. Next, map board. Oh, well, here we have, this is basically a big flat board with an airstrip. So, yeah, so well, I guess, you know, this is going to be Henderson's Field for somebody, I suppose, but that's interesting. I think I've seen other maps where the airstrips are much smaller, so I don't know if that's actually like to scale how Henderson Field is, or this has got nothing to do with Henderson Field, and I'm just making a guess because it's the PTO. Anyway, good looking map board, as always. Okay, next up we have Hell's Corner from the the 5 scenarios from Hell's Corner from the insert from the magazine. There's 3, 4, 5 scenarios. There's a few scenario special rules here. And this looks like this might be like the full map, and this is where all the scenarios take place. So that's, I wonder if there's a campaign game that uses the whole map or not. I guess that remains to be found out. Oh, and here is said map. Okay, this is going to be very too big for what I can get a good look at here. But I can zoom in a bit and maybe let you see the it's your typical ASL MMP quality map, but it's yeah, it looks like it's, in terms of like the size of the box, it's folded over 4 times, 3 panels, so it's like it's 12 times the size of that. So yeah, that's the map for the included mini HASL. Here we have another map board. This one just this looks pretty. This one looks pretty much like you could use it on the Western Front or for the ETO or whatever you like. This has got a lot going on that could be. I bet this map 37's seeing a lot of use, I bet. Okay, some more counters. We've got the first of the Chinese counters here in the blue with the brown border. Some more informational counters that are specific to the PTO. We've got ramp down for the landing crafts. We've got some bonsai markers and a few more Japanese counters. Oh, and now, yeah, wow, that is a lot of overlays. So we've got overlays. I don't know if those are the rice paddy overlays or they could be. Ton of overlays. Oh, and then of course, yes, the beach overlays, and then there's probably somewhere in here there's going to be some ocean overlays or ocean sort of map boards so that one can do the beach landings. Up next, Chapter H, it looks like. Yes, Chapter H, Chinese vehicle notes. Yep. And oh, and also this looks like the notes for landing craft, multinationality stuff, landing craft and stuff like that. So redone Chapter H as well. Here we have the more full counter set for the Japanese, and yet another map board. Oh, this is interesting. We've got a couple of level 4 hills over here, and then some level 2 hills over here, or maybe level 3, I guess these are. But yeah, that's a crazy looking map board. Well done. Another player aid card. This is basically a player aid card for PTO specific rules. So you've got a passenger PPP cost, you've got some heavy surf rules, you've got animal pack gun vulnerability table. Yeah, stuff stuff you haven't seen before if you've never played in the PTO before. Rising Sun Chinese vehicles and ordnance. You don't see those much, but maybe we should see them more. I want to play more Chinese. Yet another board. Tons of orchard, tons of grain. If you look at this on the from the WTO sort of perspective, but yeah, this board would see a lot of use as well. 35 Chinese Chapter H, and yeah, that's just the updated all the Chapter H Chinese vehicle notes and ordnance notes. And yet another map board. Wow, there's going to be 6 or 7 map boards in here. Oh, this is just a giant forest, or since we're in the PTO, this would be a lot of jungle, a whole lot of jungle. Yeah, that looks good. And get down to the end of it here, the Chinese personnel and support weapons. Very nice. Oh, and just as I thought, here we go. Getting down to the bottom of the box, here's some more overlays, and these are the ocean overlays. So these are basically for when you're putting together a scenario that has landing craft or beach action. Well, that's it. That's everything for Rising Sun. That's quite a box full. I can't wait to tie into it. Thanks for watching.